Okay. So, wow, I am
You need to back up.
fucking tall.
There we go. I'm just gonna hunch like a something.
like a hunchback is what he was going for.
So today is July 23rd, 2013, day 50 of the North Route, Journey of Hope, 2013. I'm here with Mr. Benny Rivera himself.
That's me.
That's him. Today we did our ride in Chicago. We were in
It was hot.
It was hot.
It was very hot.
It wasn't hot in the morning when we rode in,
But then it became very hot.
but then it became very hot. So we started out. We rode from the Brookfield. No, where did we start out? It wasn't
You got
Glenview.
this. You got
It wasn't Glenview.
It wasn't?
No, Glenview was where we were supposed to be, but it wasn't really Glenview.
Northbrook.
Northbrook. Yeah, there we go. Look
Good
at
job. Good
Thank
job,
you, Mr. Milliken.
That guy.
That guy. So we started out in Northbrook at the YMCA, and we did yoga this morning.
We did.
That's what we started.
My
out.
legs still hurt.
I've
I've never done yoga before.
Never have done yoga before. I tried. Did you see how flexible she was? Like she was standing up there, and she was like.
She was a machine.
She was like on her like knees and elbows, but still standing up. Like that's how far bent down she was. I could barely touch my toes.
I've never stretched that much. I felt pain in places I didn't know I could feel pain.
I just felt feeling in places I didn't know existed.
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I mean, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I just never had an excuse to do it.
You know, the whole time I was sitting there like, why do people subject themselves to this kind of pain? It just seemed like very torturous.
I did feel very good afterwards, though. It was very refreshing. I mean, I told one of my friends, my friend Kate from home, and she was just like, "All right, we're doing yoga when I get back." And I was just like, shouldn't have told her that. Shouldn't have told her.
That means I guess you got to do yoga now.
I mean, I have to buy a mat and everything now.
What about that block? What was that block for? I didn't
Apparently, the block. All right, so we had this block that was like this big and it was like pink, and apparently it's used for like if you can't like stretch like myself, it helps you stretch. So you have to like I think if you push down on it, it makes it easier if you're still like stretching the muscles. You're just not going down all the way. Because that's how I used it, and that's how Kyle explained it to me.
I need to scoot back, but I'm too tall.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're tall.
There we go. I'm like a lot farther back than you, but now we're at the same level, height-wise. So we did our yoga, and then we headed off to
Chicago.
our stage up, which was at Target.
Which was nice.
It was a really awesome Target. It had, and I have a video of it, so it will be in here. There is a video of me playing with their shopping carts that had this little device in it, and then when you pushed it outside the parking lot, the wheels locked up.
Which he was very surprised about.
I had never seen it before.
And he's never seen it before, but I've had that in New York for the past like decade of my life.
Maybe they just steal a lot of carts in New York.
I do live in the ghetto, so I mean, yes. It's just something that I thought was common. I don't know. I mean, the first thing, like I remember when I went like on crew training, before we even got to like I think Oakland. It was the first time we went to Target I ever saw like the cart go like escalate itself. I never saw that before, so that was surprising to me. But like the whole locking was something.
I've only seen those at IKEA before. IKEA has a lot of. Have you ever seen an IKEA?
No, I've been to IKEAs. My IKEAs are just like usually one layer or two. So.
Oh, dude, the IKEA in Chicago is like, I mean, it's gigantic. It's like 3 stories tall.
Is it? Is it?
Huge.
It's big.
It's very big. So we staged up at Target, and then we rode into the Victor C. Newman Center in Chicago. And
that was a lot of fun.
It was. We had a nice arrival. There was a lot of people there.
It was probably definitely one of the most amount of people we've ever had. I was whatever. Biggest, what you know what I'm talking about. Largest. There was a lot of people. That's what matters, okay?
Yeah.
And I was in I guess I was in lead van. Actually, no, my van was leading. I just wasn't in my van. I was in Sam's van, so I jumped ahead and literally had to stop traffic so they can keep going, which was interesting because the cars were not stopping, and I literally was just like, stop, please stop, stop. And then eventually they stopped because they saw the van and then all the cyclists. But it was close. It was kind of shady, but we got in there.
People just don't understand the concept of stopping.
I was like this, and I was like, stop.
You tell them, Benny.
I did. I honestly told them. They just didn't want to stop for me.
So my family came out, or at least part of my family. My mother, my grandmother, and my sister.
Note to self: his sister's cooler than him.
So probably true. My grandmother hung out with us. She was very excited to meet some people there and see me and everybody. And my mother was happy.
Apparently, his grandma was very excited because Doug hugged her, and he's never hugged her before.
According to her.
According to her.
But granted, my mother does have kind of a large case of Alzheimer's, so her memory sometimes is a little off.
Okay.
I have hugged her quite a bit of times in my day.
So she said. So he said.
So
we have no proof. So
but grandmother, you know, I don't know what to say about that. So we had our lunch, our dinner, lunch. We had lunch. It was sandwiches and
sandwiches.
we played some basketball. At least I played basketball. I watched you guys get schooled by some of the guys.
I wasn't playing basketball because I suck at basketball, but I did get to talk to a Pi Alpha that was there just recently.
Ooh.
Yeah, his name was Adam. He rode in 09.
Did he just show up?
He had just moved to Chicago. He was telling me he moved to Chicago in April from New York. So I overheard him talking about New York, and I went up to him and I started talking to him. Then I found he was a Pi Alpha. We were just comparing us from our trip now to his trip then, and it was the differences you could just see. Definitely, it was less structured, less organized. I mean, they had some of the same crew positions that we have now, but for the most part, it was most of the crew members didn't really have jobs. They were just crew members. They didn't have the individual jobs that we do now, and even though lodging was different back then. I mean, we're staying at a resort outside of Chicago, which was like a 40-minute drive.
Yeah, they stayed in Chicago back then.
Yeah,
but that's because they had sponsored lodging, and apparently the lodging, or for some reason, lodging was all full that day. The days we were going to be in Chicago this year, so lodging was not.
Apparently, there was something going on. We weren't really sure, but he told me when they were there, they stayed in this hotel, this really nice 5-star.
Hilton Palmer.
I don't know if it was the Hilton Palmer, but it was really nice, and it was under construction. So I think he was surprised that they got to stay there. He thought it was because they were doing construction that they let him stay there, but yeah, it was cool. I mean,
they're fumigating, so we're gonna let you stay here because we're fumigating. So yeah, it's free, you know.
I mean, they stayed, so I mean, I would love to. They were right downtown Chicago. I mean, I would have loved to stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, it beats the 40 rides and lodging, but
yeah, you would have actually been able to go out in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, the resort is pretty nice. It was pretty nice, so I mean, it works out. We have a nice resort.
But so after the arrival at the Newman Center, the Victor C. Newman Center, and hanging out with the kids or the people with disabilities there, we then were dropped off at Millennium Park in Chicago.
Yep.
And just kind of let loose and said, hey, you got to be this address at this time.
They're not dogs. We didn't actually say go let loose. We are nice. We treat them like humans, I promise you.
No, that's so untrue because I have totally heard somebody call over the PTT one time when we were red flagged, and they called over the PTT to the person that was red flagging us, and
such a loud voice.
They said, release the hounds.
You have such a loud voice.
I know I do.
It's it hurts my ear.
I'm sorry, I'm talking to the camera here too.
We're in a public place.
I know we're in a public place.
And I don't remember. I think it was Josh that said that.
Said,
don't quote me on that because I don't know. Someone said it. It wasn't me though.
But yeah, so we got set loose in Millennium Park, and we just kind of hung out, went around. I don't know what you did. What did you do?
What we did was the crew members, we dropped off all the cyclists at Millennium Park, had them change in the vans if they didn't change. That was very interesting. It worked out though. We had guys covering the windows, so no one really noticed, thank God, because it was around like a kids festival or something. It was around that. But as soon as we dropped them off, all the crew members met up at a parking lot, pretty much literally right around the corner from where dinner was, and we just, we were going to have the crew members switch spots and have different turns, but then Nick and Spencer were just kind enough, since they were on North Route last year, they were just told us to just go have fun and explore. And, so pretty much that's what we did. All the crew members pretty much left.
Where'd you go?
We pretty much just walked around. I mean, like I told you when we went on your sister's tour, we just walked all around, literally in a giant square. We went over a bridge. We kind of got separated. We left without Sam because Sam took his sweet time. He's not listening. He's over there. He took his sweet time, and so we kind of left without him. I felt bad, but not really. And then we just started walking. I was following Mark. Mark kind of just knew where to go. I don't know how. I think he's been to Chicago before, so we just followed him. And then eventually, Jesus and Kyle, they stopped because they saw the little bike rentals. And
They went to ride a bike.
And then we just kept going. We didn't realize they stopped. And then, next thing you know, we're 5 blocks ahead and we don't know where they are. And we figured they would just have fun riding the bikes. And they did. They had a lot of fun time. So, and it was pretty much just a crew hangout. The crew pretty much just hung out. I don't really know what Sam did. But it was me, Mark, and Dan and Josh. And then what we did was we just walked. We went to Millennium Park.
Millennium?
And then it's a long day. It's been a long day.
Millennium Park.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Say it.
Millennium.
That one.
Millennium.
We went to that park. We saw the bean.
This being Cloud Gate, as it's really called.
So we saw this really cool, I don't know, I didn't know what it was until the closer I got to it. I'm not sure what the name of it was, but it was a theater outside, which I thought was pretty cool. Did you see that theater?
It's some kind of
Outdoor theater thing.
Whatever that
It's
term
cool.
is.
I have
outdoor.
pictures. It's nice. Stopped at a little hot dog place so the guys could eat. Had some fries, and then as soon as we were done, we pretty much went back the way we came. We pretty much walked around the water right next to the river in Chicago, and then we ended up, I think, almost back to where we were. And we stopped at the Sports Authority. That was pretty much right around the corner from where we were. And they had a lot of like famous athletes' fingerprints on the wall. So I got Michael Jordan's picture. Took a picture of that one. And then it was time for dinner.
All right. So yeah, me and a bunch of the guys, we headed off. We were gonna get. We were trying to decide where we went to go. We went to the Bean and we went to the fountain over by the Bean, and then we decided we wanted to either go to the Sears Tower or like the Hancock building. And I was convincing him that the Hancock building was a better place to go because it's cheaper, like it's free, except for almost free. You have to pay for a drink or something. Mostly free. So we decided
Cheaper than if you went and didn't know what you were going to say.
Yes. So we headed out to the Hancock building. We stopped at the Garmin store, which is the only Garmin store in North America.
Did not know that.
Didn't even know that it existed until I was there a couple years ago.
Didn't know it existed until he just said something.
There you go. You learned something new today.
Something new.
Then we went to the Nike store right next door, and then I went to the Apple store. A couple stores down, got a new cable for my phone because it was under warranty. And then we went to the Hancock building, and we went up to the 96th floor, the Signature Lounge. Unfortunately, the under 21-year-olds were not allowed in.
That's why I didn't go, because I wasn't there.
So we went up and I had a strawberry smoothie.
Nice.
A couple of the guys got ginger ales and pops, and it was like $8 to $10. But at least we got something out of our bucks, and we got to see the view. And yeah, there was that. Either that or it was $18 to go 2 floors down. So
I think it's a win-win.
yeah, I think so.
that's pretty cool.
Or $20 to go to the Sears Tower, which is only 5 stories taller, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. No, 8 stories taller. Something like that. Anyway.
I didn't want to pay to get into buildings, so at the time I had no cash. So I just played it safe and just walked around, and I still had a fun time.
Yep. So after that, we all met up at the dinner, which was at Club Lago. We had dinner with John Schumacher. Was that his name?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay, we'll just
Yes,
say John Schumacher,
that
Pi Alpha. He provided us dinner there, sponsored dinner. We had like pasta-y stuff.
He rode Transamerica Road in 1999.
Okay.
Around that.
We'll go with
Let's
that.
go with that.
We'll go with that.
It's
Sounds legit.
Sounds in the general area. It was around that time.
So somewhere in there, he rode the Trans Road.
Give or take 5 years.
So we had our pasta. It was really good, and I really don't have much to say about dinner.
It was good.
I don't know if you hung out with John. I really didn't.
I didn't. No, I was on the other side.
So-
It wasn't that big of a spot, and he was pretty much sitting with Nick and Spencer and some other guys like Michael Walton. I actually got to sit with him.
So there was dinner, and then after dinner we grabbed on the vans and
Had a 40-minute ride at lodging.
our lodging was at Eaglewood Resort and Spa
It's a nice
in
resort.
Itasca. Very nice resort. The only thing I have a problem with the Eaglewood Resort
There you go.
is they make you walk so far to your room.
That's true.
Rooms were like, I mean, I would figure a resort, you walk in, rooms right there. No, walk in, walk, upstairs, round, walk,
Take an
upstairs,
elevator
round.
up the floor.
Yep, elevator.
Just to get to your. It was such a weird building.
Yes.
Like,
But it was nice.
I didn't even want to take my puppets inside because I knew that'd just be a challenge. So I didn't. I left them in the car.
Nice.
They did my puppets in the car with me.
Oof.
They're actually right now. In the car.
You must have missed it that night.
I didn't actually. It's so much easier. Now since I figured out I could put them in the van and how to do it, it saves me so much problems.
There you go.
So I don't always bring them inside now.
So,
Unless I'm in a sketchy club.
So most of the people went out to like, what is that place with this casino, or not casino, the it's like an adult arcade.
This is news to me. I was in the crew pretty much room with Dan, Jesus, and Sam, and we just hung out.
Jason, what's the name of that? Dave and Buster's. Never mind. I got it. Dave and Buster's.
I could have told you that. I didn't know it was Dave and Buster's, bro.
They went out to Dave and Buster's. One of the guys went out to Top Golf, which was what I really wanted to do, but he was invited by somebody else, and they were paying, so whatever. I stayed in and kind of relaxed, and then I went downstairs and had a burger and some fries and a Mountain Dew. Yeah, and that was pretty much all I did. Anything you did all exciting that night?
I watched an episode of Hell's Kitchen. No, Master Chef, because Jesus really wanted to watch it. And then I watched an episode of True Blood. And I haven't seen True Blood since the first season because I just stopped watching it. Because I thought it'd be bad because I was in high school. And there was a lot of graphic stuff there. So I figured it'd be bad if I kept watching it. So but now I don't want to watch it again. So that inspired me to watch it again. And then we didn't really do anything, to be honest. It was like crew band. We were all tired. We knew we were waking up early, so we were just like, or actually no, we have to wake up. So we were just like, nighty night, goodbye.
Yeah, it's pretty much the end of the night. So, yeah, so this was day 50
Boom.
Of the Journey of Hope North Route 2013.
Jeff Watson, everybody.
Jeff Watson just walked by. And now he's going to walk back.
Jeff Watson.
And he's probably going to turn around and walk again back. He's going to keep walking back and forth through the outro here. So there's Jeff Watson.
He needs to get his exercise.
So you can check over here on this side, the side that Jeff Watson's facing or walking towards. There'll be all the blogs on this side. So do you have a blog?
No.
Okay. Well, if you had a blog, it'd be over here. Jeff Watson just tripped over a chair. Just want to point that out.
He doesn't know where the ice cream is.
Over here, there's also a map during the daytime from about 6 a.m. till about noon, 1-ish. You'll see a dot moving across the screen. That's me moving across the country. This is really entertaining. So you can check out my blog at joh.theotherbrew.com. That's where all this stuff will be that I'm talking about. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank Jeff Watson.
Jeff Watson,
everybody. He's back there.
He's doing whatever.
I don't
know what he's doing over there.
He's just having a good old time. So, goodbye, Internet.
Good night.